I the bad guy?
Am I the bad guy?
Am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy?
Am I the
Am I the
bad
bad guy?
Am I the bad guy?
Am I the bad guy? I started working as head chef at this new health food restaurant. We served lots of really good food with something for everyone. Even a coffee bar with muffins baked fresh every morning. It gets very busy at this restaurant, and the small crew of chefs I hired to cook and serve customers were also cleaning dishes. No one ever complained, but it was a major hassle to be a cook, server, and clean up from all the catering. I mean, after a long day of cooking, serving customers, and barely squeezing in a quick bite before the next food rush. We also had to rotate onto the dish station. It was just something no one there enjoyed doing. We finally had enough business coming in to justify bringing another staff member onto the crew. The owner of the restaurant suggested that I hire someone to be a dedicated dishwasher. I said absolutely. I was completely over the moon. The kitchen staff could start taking actual 15-minute breaks and eat an undisturbed lunch. I started interviewing people for the position right away and found 2 or 3 people I thought had a great attitude and work ethic. One candidate in particular had already had a job in a local cleaning service, so naturally I thought she would be the best choice. It didn't seem relevant at the time, but she was African American, which is important for later in the story. Looking back, maybe there was something a bit odd about how perfect she came across and how all her answers were agreeable. The other people I interviewed didn't have much experience though, and she stuck out from the rest. I hired Laniqua and showed her the dishes workstations and explained the expectations for the station. It's a very fast-paced job, but she said she was up to the challenge. We went over the other cleaning duties and sanitation procedures that need to be performed. She wasn't going to cook because she didn't have any experience, and I made it clear during the interview. She was being hired specifically to help the kitchen staff, who are still also busy food servers. Anyway, she was amazing. Everyone greeted Laniqua warmly and told her how excited they were to have the help around the kitchen. We even threw a pizza party the first day she came on board to make her feel welcome. Laniqua was complete and total rock star from Planet Incredible. She cleaned quickly, scrubbed efficiently, and did an absolutely amazing job. After completing a lunch service, she would even say thank you before taking her break. Everyone couldn't stop thanking her. One of my staff even brought in a special unicorn magnet with Laniqua's name on it to hang over the sink and dishes area. She had mentioned that her daughter liked unicorns, especially from a popular cartoon. The kitchen crew agreed that it was taking a ton of pressure off of the chefs, who were all very appreciative. I felt like we could all finally take a deep breath. Laniqua wasn't being paid as much as the trained culinary staff, but she seems okay with the pay. If she performed well and finished up the fall season with us, I would give her a $1 raise. She was only making slightly above minimum wage, but that's all we could afford, and she said she understood and was fine with the amount. Plus, if we could afford it, we would also increase her work hours after a month. You won't believe how perfect Laniqua was, but the quiet always comes before the storm. After 2 weeks of the smoothest kitchen operation I have ever seen, I noticed that Laniqua was being particularly quiet. Usually she had a smile on her face. I stopped by the dish station and asked her if everything was okay, and she nodded politely, but didn't return my eye contact. Not wanting to pry, I left it at that. She did have a lot of dishes stacking up, and I thought it might just be my imagination anyway. To my surprise, the next day she was late to work, but everyone has a bad day, and I didn't do much more than mention that work starts at 8 o'clock, and asked her to make sure she was more punctual. We especially need our cleaning done during the morning breakfast rush hours. The sheer amount of customers we get can get crazy. Anyway, she just nodded, very cold attitude. I thought, I shouldn't press my luck and say anything else, so I just left it at that. I thought about finding her after her shift was almost over to check on her, but she had already left. I was surprised to see a few more dishes in the drying rack hadn't been put away, and I had to put them away myself. Laniqua usually followed all the kitchen procedures and always put everything away. Was this a fluke, or was she upset with me? At this point, I'm wondering if it's still just my imagination. After all, it was her first time late, and not to mention, everyone has a bad day from time to time. So midweek, it's already 9:30, and she is a no-show. No phone call or text message or anything. I tried calling because Wednesday is one of our busiest work days. No answer. My calls just kept going straight to voicemail. The same thing happened again the next day. She doesn't show up to work, and I try to call again. At this point, I am somewhat worried if Laniqua is okay. The last time I tried to call, I get a phone number not in service message. Had Laniqua blocked me? What the heck? I assumed at this point that maybe she had just quit. There is sometimes fast turnover in the food industry. But then a week later, I got a letter in the mail. It was from Laniqua's lawyer saying that he is investigating a racial discrimination lawsuit. The letter goes on to accuse my kitchen of racist hiring practices, and that we took advantage of her because she is an African American. I am still in shock when I think about it. We hire people from all walks of life, religions, and cultural backgrounds. It just happened to be that at this particular time of year, when she was hired, our small crew was mostly white, except for our bookkeeper who is Puerto Rican and works remotely. All I know is we had one of the most efficient and dedicated dishwashers on the planet. And then we had a surprise lawsuit. What the heck happened? Maybe it was all the excessive appreciation we showed Laniqua that made her believe we were somehow making fun of her? I don't think it was the unicorn magnet with her name on it that offended her. The lawsuit being investigated was very ambiguous, so I still don't know what the exact complaint against us was. I didn't have the money to hire an attorney to protect our kitchen and worried for weeks about what we should do. Gratefully, Laniqua's lawyer informed me that she would not be moving forward with any more legal action less than 2 months later. What had changed her mind? Did the lawyer decide there wasn't a case and convinced her to drop it? It still makes me get hot anxiety flashes when I think of the day I got that letter. One minute you're flying high, and then next you feel like you're in a car accident. As a small kitchen, we seriously couldn't afford to get sued. We hardly make a profit as it is, and we're finally seeing some growth happening. Unfortunately, for us, we haven't hired anyone new for the kitchen's cleaning crew, and almost definitely won't now after this unfortunate incident. So it's back to scrubbing pots for everyone on my kitchen crew, and we aren't going to hire anyone to replace Laniqua. The owner of the restaurant told me I could hire someone else, but we would need to do a background check and have them sign a waiver agreeing with legal protections. It still feels super awkward to talk about. I can't see hiring anyone to be the dishwasher now. I'm worried about the reputation of my kitchen and my staff members. I wish her the best, but I still can't figure out what happened. Am I the bad guy?
If you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button, then click again and hit the all bell notification option, so you'll be the first to know when the next bad guy story is available. Remember to hit the like button, share with a friend, and drop your comment and thoughts below. Do you have a bad guy story that you would like to share? Send your story to badguystories@gmail.com. Thank you for being part of our community, and have a great day.